Well, hello and good evening. First off, thank you very much, Harish, for coming in and joining, the Transcend family of investors and friends. And we've got a couple of things on our list. Friends, if you would remember, we used to have this multimillionaire forum a while ago, and then it took a little bit of a setback. Now we hope that the multimillionaire forum is going to continue the way it used to be all along and all throughout. So we're going to bring to you, we'll try and bring to you almost every week, if not if not every week, then maybe every fortnight. We will try and do something, bring more and more opportunities to you. And for the ones who are joining it the first time around, we have a little objective within Transcend that we want to be able to not only manage your money, but at the same time also ensure that we make you an empowered investor, make you an aware investor, so you know what's going on. While there are experts like Harish and the Kotak team and mutual fund brokers and distributors like us, there's a whole host of people available to do that. But wouldn't it be nice to exactly know what's happening, what's the opportunity, and hear it firsthand from the people who actually manufacture it and bring it to you? So that's really the objective of Multimillionaire Forum, where we bring a whole collage of ideas for you to talk about and to discuss and then to present. Now, the format of what we are going to do is that Harish and I are going to have a little conversation, and Kunal, which is a part of Harish's team, is going to help us with some presentations. So, having said that, we will speak for about 35 to 40 minutes broadly, and then we'll take a lot of your questions as well. Do post it on the chat, or we'll open the floor in about 35 to 40 minutes, and we will have a little interaction with everyone. So, having said that, and the theme and the subject matter of today, I want to start off with telling you a little story which I heard from a logistics company once. And logistics company, imagine a company like a Blue Dart or DHL or some such thing. And they have this shop floor where huge consignments of cartons and shipments are moving on an automated basis. They're moving on conveyor belts, and they're getting distributed from the hub to go into the various localities that they're supposed to go, various countries, various regions, etc. And it's Christmas time, and just about a day before that, something was wrong with the conveyor belt. And the entire movement of that logistics company comes to a grinding halt. And this is a hub. So it's a serious problem. So the shop floor supervisor gets into a panic mode and tries to figure out how can we resolve this, and we have to have shipments to move. And then what they do is somebody comes and gives an advice that there's this guy who lives in the neighborhood, and he was amongst the first people who actually built this entire system. So why don't we just go and check with him, because all our technologies and everything was computerized, everything's failed, nothing's working. So what is it that we can do so that we can resolve this problem? So then they get hold of this man, and this man is like frail and old now, obviously, and very slowly he takes these little steps, moves up the stairs, comes into the alleyway, and from where he can have an entire bird's view of the entire shop floor. And then he's trying to look around and find out where is the problem. And then he figures it out. He goes to that location where he thinks the problem was, does a little bit, basically tightening of a couple of screws and maybe hitting a nail in, and suddenly the entire shop floor is back to life. So obviously everyone's very happy, and the manager thanks him and says, okay, please give me your bill for your services and I'll pay that. So the next day morning, the old man sends a bill to the company, and the bill for that particular job that he did, which was like literally 2 minutes, he billed them $10,000. And then the manager says, okay, you solved our problem in our time of need. We will pay you. But I'm extremely curious. Can you give me the breakup of this 10,000? I mean, how did you arrive at this figure of 10,000? And then the old man says, you see, it was only $1 to tighten the screw, and it was $9,999 to know which screw where was supposed to be tightened. So asset allocation is something like that. We can be invested for years and years and years together. And then there are times where either we need to be heavyweight on equities, or we may need to be heavyweight on debt, or heavyweight somewhere else. But you need to have more focus in a certain area and a lesser focus in a certain area. And that's asset allocation for you, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we are going to talk about. And our friend Harish has been into the fund management industry for a huge number of years. He's had a stint with Infosys as well. He's a BTech engineer. He's a CFA. And along with this fund, he manages half a dozen other funds for Kotak Mutual Fund. So we requested him to come and talk to all of us and share this particular idea, which is called the Kotak Balance Advantage Fund. Now, before we proceed, and before I, give my first question out to Harish, just a little bit of disclaimer, which will get out of the way. Number one is that this show is for education purposes only, and this show does not construe any investment advice. And for all of you, do keep yourselves in a mute mode, and we will open the floor shortly. So Harish, if I may at this point, bring you in. See, what happens is, I'm sure you heard this for so many years. In the 30 years of my experience of the financial markets and 20 years doing Transcend, I've always had this one commonality of a feeling. Investors always want to have a great return, and if possible, they want to have no risk at all. I mean, and if possible, zero risk, right? Now, against this, all of us know, and of course, including everyone who's investing, every single person knows that the reality is very, very different. It's not exactly this. But having said that, we all are discussing this thing all the time. Shall we buy more equity? The market's falling or the market's going up. Did we miss the bus? Did we do something else? What can we do? What can we do different? And that's where, people like us come and talk to everyone saying that, look, you got to stick to your asset allocation. 100 रुपया जो होता है, उसमें से 50 रुपया यहाँ रखो, 30 रुपया यहाँ रखो, 20 रुपया यहाँ रखो. Now, that's what we try and do. Now, what we have for all of you today is an automated solution. This happens automatically. And so, Harish, I want to bring you in here. So is Kotak BAF like the ultimate solution? So one doesn't really need any other fund. You can just be here, just be invested, and you guys will take care of it all automatically.
Right. So good evening, friends. Hi, Karthik, and thank you for this platform. I hope all of you are safe and healthy during these times. When we say automatic and all of that, if you really look at our own lifestyle choices, be it an automatic washing machine or an automatic car, pretty much everything that we want, machines are trying to make our life simpler. And in some sense, the Kotak Balance Advantage Fund is trying to draw from that. Let's be quite clear, that investment is not a science that, you can crank up a formula and this is it, right? We all know that investment is an art. It's also got some embedded science with it, but you need to have an amalgamation of both art and science. And which is what we are trying to attempt with Kotak Balance Advantage Fund. So let me try and draw out what exactly is asset allocation from our lens, and how is it that investors typically, and investors include all of us, right? It includes a professional like myself, possibly advisors like yourself, and the end investor as well. And it all boils down to two simple human emotions where 90% of our mistakes come from. Number one mistake, greed. Number two mistake, fear. It sounds so simple. Everybody is nodding their heads. Yeah, it's so obvious, right? But unfortunately, most of us, I would say almost all of us, but I'm sure maybe there are a few who mastered it. Most of us, struggle at this basic concept. That is, when things are good, we amplify the good things. Suddenly WhatsApp messages and Twitter boards and everybody calling, your neighbor, your uncle, everybody is into markets. And, we are having a gravy train, which is all wow. And then you have the other extreme where markets start going down, and then you've got these, I like to call them the funny little chartists who send these messages that, now Nifty is at 8,000, now it'll go to 6,000, and there is this Fibonacci algorithm which makes it go to 5,500, and the next stop is 3,000 and whatnot, right? So this is something that we have all experienced. Now, how do we try and remove or reduce this bias? Is by a model. Okay. Now, again, like I started out with an automatic car, let me try and give out an analogy as to what we are trying to do with an automatic solution of Kotak BAF. In an automatic car, as most of you are aware, especially in a city like Bombay, where traffic is so bad. Of course, these days, even these days, I think traffic is quite bad. You basically are telling the gearbox something. There are some inputs that go to the gearbox, and it automatically decides whether to be in the first, second, third, or fourth, right? And possibly even beyond. And how does it do that? In our sense, there are two variables that the gearbox is getting. First is the variable of how much the driver wants to move the car by, or the vehicle by, right? So that is one input. And the second input is whether you're going up a slope, going down a slope, the feedback from the environment or from the road, right? Now these two go and it automatically calibrates and comes out to a certain level. Now in a very similar kind of a way, in Kotak Balance Advantage Fund, we are talking about two variables that we consider in our model. The first variable is valuations, right? We all know and we all keep hearing about these valuation ratios, be it a price to earnings or a price to book, etc., etc. There are a whole range of valuations. We use some of them. Notably, trailing price to earnings, that is the primary valuation input that we go into the valuation model, right? Now comes the second variable, which is what is the market pricing in, or what is the sentiment of the market, right? And which is where the second variable comes in. Now, for this second variable, we use a whole range of 3 or 4 different factors. One factor is like the rolling return, for example. Generally, and this is something that most of you may be aware of it, if you take, say, long range Nifty returns of, say, 5-year blocks over the last 25 years or 5 or 7-year blocks, you typically get a 12 to 14 kind of a clustering. That is where bulk of the data points are, right? Now, if let's say the 5-year trailing returns of Nifty at a point where minus 5%, that is an odd outlier. Similarly, and that was the case which was in March, not very far away from where we are today, when trailing returns on a 5-year basis, on a 7-year basis of Nifty was, say, minus 5%. Similarly, after, say, the 2014 elections, we are the other extreme, wherein the trailing 5-year return suddenly shot up to 25%. That again is an extreme outlier. So that is one way in which we try and correct ourselves. The second way that we look at is short-term rolling returns. Another variable that we look at is the breadth of the market. So let's say there are 1,000 stocks that we track in the market, and out of 1,000 stocks, about, say, 700 or 800 are close to 52-week highs, which means yearly highs. Then we know there is too much of greed in this market, right? We need to dial back down. Similarly, if there are, say, 700 or 800 stocks which are close to 52-week lows, which was the case in March, then we know that, there's too much of pessimism. Everybody is thrown in the towel. And then we look at some other variables like volatility. So essentially what we're trying to build here is an automatic solution wherein we are blending in one variable of valuation, the other variable of sentiment. We arrive at I wouldn't say an optimum or a balancing output, which is of two natures, right? Everybody understands that there is a risk of investing in equity markets, but there is an even bigger risk of not investing in equity markets, right? And this is what we are trying to balance at any point of time. Can we reduce that risk of not investing in equity markets and optimize the risk of investing in equity markets? And we arrive at one point in time, and this model runs on a daily basis, right? So which is where, over the course of the last 2-3 years, if you look at it, markets have been pretty much around, if I take Nifty, at 11,000 levels, right? But it has gone up, it has gone down, but the endpoints have been roughly about similar. But in the same time period, the model and the portfolios have moved from 25% equity exposure all the way to 80% equity exposure. And this fund operates between 20 to 80%. That's the boundary with which the fund operates. At least 20% should be in debt at any point of time, and at least 20% should be in equity at any point of time. So that's 20 to 80%. So we've traveled that entire journey of from 25 to 80%, which means that you're getting that automatic kind of a solution depending on where markets are, where sentiment is, what the pulse is, and trying to balance both of these two risks at any point of time. And that is how we try and arrive at an automatic solution called the Kotak Balance Advantage Fund.
Wonderful. Thank you, Harish. So